Hi, my name's Dan Pino, and this is Adventures in Disc Golf. Hello. Block the wind. We're here at Muddy Run Disc Golf Course, as you can see by the sign. The ruby-throated hummingbird. You know what I mean. This is one of the best courses in the world. Top 50, I believe. I'll put it on the screen, right there. But the only issues with it, it's a little soft. So I'm going to tell you my opinion on how to make the course a little bit harder so we can get major events like Pro Tour Championship, maybe a Discmania match play event, maybe even Worlds, because this place deserves to hold it. It's beautiful. It's 65 degrees in February, so that's why I'm out here. I hope you enjoy the video, because I know I love this place, so I want you to love it too. So, we're going to start off hole 6. Par 3, 400 feet, downhill. It's just a putter shot. It's very easy. There's no danger once you clear these trees. Getting a 3 is pretty simple. Getting a 2 is very rewarding. But at the end of the day, the pros are going to eat this up. So what we should do is dig a little pond behind it so distance control becomes a real factor, and take the dirt from the pond and put it in front of the basket, and then grow the grass up, so you really need to maintain your distance. Or we can just move the basket into the trees, forcing a good landing zone. Moving on to hole 7. So it's a nice 413 foot par 3, but it's really not too difficult, especially for top pros. A slight backhand flex, even a hyzer can get you there. What I would like to do is push the basket back about 150 feet. So you have to make an option where you can go through this tree line with a nice chip shot. You can go to the left to play safe, or to the right to play safe. I would make the road play as an OB, and I would turn this into a tricky, somewhat short par 4. So if you look here, you can see all of this beautiful sparse land behind this short tree line. The tree line can easily play as a hazard, out of bounds. We don't want people going in there, so it adds more strokes and makes the hole difficult and turns the course to a par 70 instead of a par 69. Moving right into hole 8, all you really need to do for this hole to be a little bit challenging is move the tee pad pretty much to where the drone is. You can move it as close to the tree line as you want to really force a hyzer, but basically you want to be challenging the top pros to at least throw 500 feet if they want an easy approach shot. Reward the big bombers, because that's what people pay to see. We want to see the bombs. So 450, 500 something feet to about this sign, and then it's fine from there. We're on hole 9 still, and one of the softness of this course comes right here. You just have a dead straight 300 foot par 3. The problem is it has a massive option for just a hyzer, and anyone that's worth their salt in distance can throw a 300 foot hyzer. So in order to make this difficult, we're going to cut to a drone shot, and I'm going to point to what should be implemented. Another short little par 3, dead straight, but it offers a really easy just spike hyzer into the green. What I would do is dig a little pond right where those spike hyzers like to land. Make it OB, force them to either play up the gap or to really make a smart decision with their spike hyzer. It's only a 300 foot hole. Every top pro should be able to hit that. I would then take the dirt from that pond and put it in front of the first gap and have the grass grow a little high, just so they have to go over something and they can't slide something up there. Really make these pros work for it. Really make everyone work for it. It's a great hole, but it's just too easy. And just look at how beautiful the scenery is. Pennsylvania, there's nothing like it.
Hole 10, beautiful green, stones, big enough to have a fair enough landing zone, but tricky enough to have a death putt. Beautiful water behind it, coming down from a very tight fairway. There's the short, so you could play a flex forehand down to a landing zone and then another forehand in. You can go backhand and then forehand. This is a tremendous hole. It's probably my favorite on the course. Hole 12 is another beautiful green. Built up wall and then a pretty steep drop off, but it's more than fair. And you come down, there's the short, the long is through the woods. It's a great par 4. Tough but fair, completely fair. And it makes you have to pick a landing spot. Another fantastic hole.
Hole 13 is only like 287 feet, I think. It's really not that hard. There's not much room to push it back further, but if you move the basket about 30 feet closer to the woods, it forces the backhand flex shot, which is kind of huge and makes you really have to master that shot. So it would add a couple strokes.
Hole 15, straight up the hill. It's a very short par 4, as you can see. You see these two guys up there. It's pretty much birdie or die on this hole. To make it slightly harder, you can just put the tee pad right there, which forces you to go through this 15-foot gap. So if you have to hit a gap off the tee, that's strokes on folks, the ones that don't make it. Hole 16, the most scenic hole on the course. 80-foot elevation change, 737. This hole is very hard to make harder because it's only a par 4, and I'm pretty positive most of the top pros can reach it in one. So I would keep this hole the way it is and just let this be a spectacle hole where you get to see pros just have a blast. There really is no danger. There's a backstop fence. So if you want to see Eagle McMahon, park it. Like the eagles that you'll see, because again, this hole is the bald eagle hole. So it's going to be a hole that's eagled a lot. That's fine. We can keep it that way.
Hole 2, another gorgeous downhill hole, a little soft. A lot of the pros can get there in 2. The score separation isn't that crazy. However, I've played tournaments at Money Run where they put a different basket over to the right, forcing a long forehand. So once you hit this gap, you're going to throw it about 475 if you're a pro, and then you can hit a long forehand or a turnover with a putter, something simple like that. So you hit your gap, and then you have to make a real decision. Do you have the distance to get there with a forehand or not? This adds scoring separation. I recently played a tournament at Money Run this summer where they put a basket down here by the road. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think the pros will enjoy the added difficulty. Finally, hole 18. Hole 18 usually plays to a pyramid, but the practice basket located on this triangle island is a perfect finishing hole. You have to decide, do you lay up? Do you go for it? It's approximately a 400-foot downhill hyzer from the mouth of the forest at the top, so it really makes you think. It's a great finishing hole. Spectators can line around. You just need to block off the road but instead of having it come to just an easy forehand, it comes into a very downhill, windy island shot, which can bring in a lot of, score separation and decision making and heartbreak, which is what we want to see out of the top pros. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's one of the first ones I've ever made. It's definitely the first one I've ever done with a drone. So I can appreciate it if you guys would leave comments telling me what I did wrong, what I did right, and what you would like to see. I'm just going to let this play out. You don't have to keep watching, but there's some drone shots in here that you might want to put in a video of your own. Otherwise, have a great day and enjoy disc golf.